Hello and welcome to the Waistline Podcast. This is going to be a great week. Thank you guys very much for tuning in and listening. If this is your first time, welcome. And if this is not your first time, thanks for coming back. It's feeling pretty positive right now. It's been a good week. A lot of nice things are happening. I'm just feeling good. I don't always feel good, but when I do, I like to celebrate it. So we have a great guest this week. Her name is Brianna, and I'm going to get to her in a minute. I just want to give you couple quick updates about myself, but I also would love to have you on as a guest. So I would love if you wanted to be a guest, email me waistlinepodcast@gmail.com. I like to have a lot of very diverse guests. We have Brianna. We have had a lot of women. We've had men. We had I have a high school student coming up soon. I have what you're going to hear in this episode, I talk about a gentleman who wrote a book who is almost completely raw vegan, a lot of different points of views. So I'd love to talk to you and just keep the conversation going. But one of the reasons I'm feeling positive this week is, and we'll see what happens, it'll be interesting next week if it didn't happen, but I started losing weight in December of 2020, December 2nd to be exact, and I need to lose probably between 175 and 200 pounds total. But my birthday is July 20th. Please don't send gifts. But you can send gifts, but not gifts. That's hard to, gifts like the moving things. And I know some people say GIFs. If you say GIFs, it makes me think of peanut butter. It's not GIFs, it's GIFs. I don't care what the guy who created it said. But I've had a goal in mind of hitting 100 pounds down by July 20th, and it's been up and down. I started off really fast, which is always one of the better parts. Like, if you haven't made the decision to start losing weight yet, no pressure. If someone had told me to do it, people did tell me to do it, and I didn't listen to them. But if you're looking for a reason to do it, besides health and looking and feeling better about yourself, it's nice, right, when you start losing weight because you lose it very quickly, and that's always a fun couple weeks. But I luckily, knock on wood, have not hit it's slowed down significantly, but I haven't hit a plateau yet since December where I haven't lost weight 1 week. Some weeks it's been a half a pound. We'll see how it happens. But I've lost weight every single week. And if all goes to plan, and it looks like it's going to happen tomorrow, the day this comes out, so today, July 13th, I should hit that 100-pound down mark, which will be nice because my birthday is a week later. And that way I can have a week to lose a couple more pounds, hopefully, and enjoy my birthday treats. I'm gonna have. I've pretty much narrowed it down. It's not in stone yet, but I've pretty much narrowed it down to I'm gonna get Chinese. There's a Chinese place near me that I normally don't like this, but they actually have pretty good sushi there, and so I think I'm gonna get Chinese and sushi on my birthday, and then on that weekend I've been talking about going to New Haven, Connecticut to get Sally's Pizza. So, and I know this is a weight loss podcast, but I probably shouldn't be talking about pizza and all that stuff. But one of the things that I really, one of my goals, I'll say, with this podcast is, and I've said this a few times, and I need to make very clear that I'm not throwing shade. I'm very impressed by and motivated by people like Ethan Suplee and Action Bronson. It's amazing to me how much weight they've lost and how amazing they're doing. However, I don't think I'm having this. I'm on the same path as them, and what I mean by that is they really fell in love with working out. And if you love working out, I'm very happy for you. That has not been my experience. I'm a lot more active than I used to be, and I plan on getting more active. You'll hear in this episode that I plan on training for my one and only 5K race. But working out has never been something fun or positive for me. And I plan on staying active in my own ways and doing walks and some kettlebells every now and then, and who knows, maybe I'll do it a little bit, but I don't see myself becoming an avid workout person. I don't even know what the word, an athlete. I don't know what even the word would be. I like sitting, but I can be sitting and be a lot skinnier than I was and even am now. I mean, so just to update you, especially if you're newer, I started this out in December at 336 pounds on the dot, and I am 5'4", so that's way too much. But now I'm hoping, and you'll have an update next week on what I am tomorrow. But last week I'll give you, and I had it, but I forgot it now. It is, I was at 237.2, which is fun. So that means I'm at 98.8 pounds down as of last week. So I have 1.2 pounds that I'm hopefully will have lost by tomorrow. And that will, that's exciting. That it's a lot of weight. I've never hit 100 pounds down before. I should have, but I never have. And it's, but something that I also want to discuss with everyone is, I feel myself, and I think I've said this before, I feel myself sometimes going a little bit too, what's the word I want to say? Too worried about my weight loss. I'm an impatient person naturally. I'm just an impatient person, but I've been doing this healthily. I've talked to my brother. I've talked to dietitians and doctors on here, as you've seen. I'm not doing this in a unhealthy way, I don't think, but I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to become so rigid that I'm not happy, or I start really restricting my calories. And what made me think about this is I was having a really good week nutrition-wise and weight-wise, because I don't weigh myself every day, but usually around Thursday or Friday I'll check in and see how it's going. And I had already lost weight from last week from the weigh-in on Tuesday, and I had my uncle's birthday party yesterday, and I knew it was going to be a struggle nutritionally, and I also it's not like peer pressure, like no one's like eat this, but that would be rough. But it's sort of like an internal peer pressure where I feel awkward, like going to a big lunch and just sitting there with a plate, like a clean plate in front of me, and that's something I should get over. But so I had a little bit. I had my cousin's wife is from China, and she made this amazing tofu, and I probably should just have had just that, but they had these Trader Joe's buffalo chicken bites, which I had 2 of, and then he made lasagna, which was good, but I had a very small piece of that, but I did have it. I think it probably had red meat instead of the turkey that I'm used to. And then they had cake, of course, and I didn't have a slice. I promise you I didn't have a slice. I did have a few bites of my mom's slice. But because of that, I looked at my weight today, and again, when we talk about in this episode how much your weight can fluctuate day to day, so it's hard to it's not good to focus too much on it. But I gained like half a pound since the couple of days before, and I was at what I was at last week, so I hadn't really gained weight, and I'm sure by the time I weigh in tomorrow, I would expect that I'll have crossed over that 100-pound mark, and if I haven't, it'll happen eventually. But I think something that I struggle with is when I don't care about, not something I don't care about what I look like. It's weird. I was never happy with how I looked and the weight I was at when I was heavy. But I guess I did care, but I wasn't doing anything about it. It's a weird place. It's like partially, I mean, I guess from the outside you could say that I didn't care, and it'd be hard to argue with it, but I wasn't happy with it, but I also wasn't doing anything about it. But now that I am doing something about it, I don't want to go too far the other way. I want to be healthy, but I also want to enjoy life, and I want to make sure that this is something that I can do and maintain for hopefully 40 to 50 more years. Who knows? God. Wow, that's crazy. Hopefully, I would like to make it to 70. I mean, it's weird I know there's probably a few young people listening to this that 70 seems so old, and trust me, it does even for me. But I got to be honest, when I was 15, 16, 18, 33 seemed ancient, and I'm going to be 33 in 7 days when you hear this. So it goes by quickly, and that honestly, one of the reasons why I did this, I said, or one of the first episodes was how the seeing what happened to Ralphie May, who I became friendly with. I would say we were friends, but how he passed away at 45, and that's 12 years from now. And I don't want to die in 12 years. It's very scary. And I don't mean to bum anyone out. And hey, if you're listening to this and you're bigger and you're like, you know what? I'm happy. Or I was 500 and now I'm 400, and this is as low as I want to go. You never know in life how long you're gonna live, and that seems normal. But like I think I mentioned this too. I had an aunt who was one of the healthiest people I ever met, and in her, I think she was maybe 50, but very early 50s at most, passed away unexpectedly, and there's no guarantee that me losing this weight is going to prolong my life. I could have already done too much damage, or who knows, I could get healthy and get hit by a bus. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to find a good balance and be healthier for when I'm here, and hopefully prolong my life. But I don't want to so restrict myself that my life I don't get to enjoy what I enjoy in life. And fortunately or unfortunately, one of the things that I really enjoy is food. And I have been restricting myself a little bit. I don't get to have it as often as I would like and in the amount that I would normally eat, but the way I normally ate and wanted to eat got me up to 336 pounds. So what I'm basically trying to say is I'm trying to find a good balance. And it's just an awesome, it's an awesome thing to do, and you'll have struggles with it, and you'll go too far one way and the other way throughout this, but I've been really enjoying the last almost 8 months, I guess. and I'm hopeful that, I'm probably at least 8 to 12 months away from my final goal. But by this time, hopefully maybe next year, by my 34th birthday, good Lord. And I know there's some people listening like, you're so young. Like, when are you going to stop saying that? From the time I turned 18, people keep telling me I'm a baby, and they never stop saying it. And now I say it to young kids. So I guess everyone just says you're so young. But by the time I turn 34, I will hopefully be at a place of maintenance, of just I'm at a weight that I'm comfortable with, and maybe even I'm putting on some muscle. But that's my goal for my 33rd year on this earth. That I was gonna use the word finish, and that people not fight me on it, but I'll use the word fight, but that's not the word I'm looking for. They contest me on it. They like, oh, well, isn't this something that you're gonna have to do forever? And that's true, but there's a difference between maintaining and losing, and I'm hopeful that within the next year, learning what I've learned and the patterns and things that I've put into place work out, and that that it goes. I'll look back on where I am now the same way I look back on where I was when I lost 50 pounds. Be like, oh, I was chubby back then. So we'll see what happens. I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor this week, and then we have a new sponsor who I'm very excited to introduce you to, and that sponsor is Dive Bar Nutrition. Okay? Do me if I say okay too much during these. Go to divebarnutrition.com and check out everything they have, and when you go there, they're giving us a special that they literally have never given out before. You'll see something when you go on there that says, oh, do you want 20% off? Click the X, because you're going to get 25% off on every single order you place. So even if you place one and you really like it, which you will, go to divebarnutrition.com and use code LEE, L-E-E, at checkout, and you're going to get 25% off. Now, that does exclude gift cards, clearance, and supersize upgrades. Come on, gift cards? I mean, trust me, if they did, that's like the scam of the century. But the bars are great. I brought one in. If you watch my other podcast, What Was I Thinking? I ate one. I am going to weigh in tomorrow, so I'm not going to eat this, but it is one of my favorite flavors. It's called Dump Truck Brownie, and we all want that dump truck, and this brownie bar is going to help you get it. It's delicious. And the great part about this, about these bars, if you haven't heard of them before, one is they have 16 grams of protein, which is great. You want protein. 2, they taste amazing. And listen, I'm not going to tell you they taste like a Snickers bar, but it's a lot healthier for you than a Snickers bar. It has great macros. It tastes great, which is important, because if as a fat guy, if I don't like the taste, I don't care. If you could tell me that a kale shake was going to make me live to 1,000, but there's no way I'm drinking it. I did it once, and I gag when I think about kale now. These taste delicious. They don't taste like dirt. And the other great thing about this, and this is what I do a lot of times, I use it for, because I'm trying to get off of the diet soda, comes with 90 milligrams of caffeine. Now, what that is equal to is about how much a 1 cup of coffee is. So what this is great for is, in my opinion, is for everyone who maybe either wants to get off of diet soda, maybe you want to get off of coffee, or maybe you just want a little bit of an extra kick and you don't have time for or like eating breakfast. This is a great way to start your day, or maybe before the gym. I know after the gym, depending on when you go, people like to eat protein. I'm not a doctor. I don't know a lot about science, but the guy who runs this company, Dive Bar Nutrition, Phil, has a master's in it, and he knows his stuff, makes a great product, and is great to work with. So do me a favor, go to divebarnutrition.com. That's divebarnutrition.com. And use code Lee at checkout. That's LEE, and you're going to get 25% off. They have great flavors like dump truck brownie, like they have rabbit crap. And they have ice cream flavors like Rocky Road and mint chip. They're always adding new flavors. Just check them out, try them out. I promise you, you're going to like them. Go to divebarnutrition.com and use code Lee. Okay. So I'm very excited to introduce to you our guest for this week. Her name is Brianna, and Brianna has lost over 100 pounds and is an active runner now, super healthy, great shape. And Brianna actually found the Waistline podcast from Obese to Beast, John Glod, which is amazing. And if you haven't listened to that episode yet, listen maybe after you listen to Brianna. It was Obese to Beast, one of the earlier episodes, and she found the episode of the podcast through that. And John actually inspired Brianna. So Brianna's Instagram, where you can follow her journey, she shows what she eats. She shows some before and after pictures, and her Instagram is BRE goes _beast 91. I'm almost positive that's correct. Let me just look, and you'll hear in the episode that I am the worst about remembering that. So yes, it's BRE _goes _beast 91. And please go follow her. Tell her how much you enjoyed her episode. And Brianna, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so happy to have you on. It's great. We've been talking on Instagram for a little bit, and it's nice to finally meet you virtually in person.
I know. I was surprised. You messaged me and I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that, because I've been listening. I just found you and I was binge listening. I think I listened to each of them twice.
Oh, well, thank you. And just to clear it up for everyone out there, I wasn't sliding in the DMs. I think you you wrote a very nice comment or in your story.
No, I shared the podcast on my story, and then you reached out to me.
I appreciate it. No, yeah, I didn't want people to think he's just hitting on every girl who comments on his stuff.
And I'm pretty sure you get that a lot too.
No, I wish I did. Oh. No, I wish more single girls did that, but no. I appreciate it. And it's really cool actually, because you said you found the podcast through John from Obese to Beast. That's really awesome.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Because I think he had shared his podcast, and then I was like, oh, and then it said Waistline podcast. I'm like, oh, it's a weight loss podcast. Of course, I'm going to go to that. So,
oh, that's awesome. That makes me so happy, because it's it's not a struggle, but it's just with a new podcast, it's hard to get listeners, and you're not sure if it's connected with people, and I'm just it's really nice that you enjoyed it. How did you end up meeting John? Because I had heard of John a little bit, but then one of my Twitter followers suggested that I have him on, and then it turns out I guess since you listened, was his high school teacher. So it was just cool to meet him and talk to him. But that was really nervous about that. I thought he was gonna hate it. But but were you already losing weight when you found him, or do you know how you found out about him?
I believe it was just the beginning of when I started, officially started, because I've always tried to lose weight, and obviously it didn't happen. But when I officially started, buckled down and started when COVID hit. What was that? Almost 2 years ago, right?
And it feels like it, but it's just over 14, 15 months, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah,
it feels like it was 7 years ago, but yeah.
I know, I'm over it. So I was just in my search bar looking for fitness workout, and I saw that, or I saw him on there on my search bar. He popped up on one of the few, when they first pop up on there.
Right.
And I found him, and then so I started looking through, and I saw how he had his loose skin and all that, and that's what I was worried about. So that really drew me into following him.
Right. Yeah. That's I gotta be honest. It's weird how mentally you get down on yourself, and it's I've struggled with my weight forever. I've thought about. I've never. This is about the furthest that I've gone. I've lost. Like I think probably.
Mm.
I'm at 84 right now, and I'm.
Oh, nice.
Well, thank you. I mean, and just to spoil the beans, you're over 100 pounds down, so you're beating me. And that's amazing. But I've
Thank
never
you.
hit 100 pounds. You're welcome. I've never hit 100 pounds down before, and it's
Mm.
like always when I get around this area, I would either hit a plateau or get
Yeah.
bored, and but then like now, and I'm not proud of this, but like as I've started to lose weight, I look at my like I already have some loose skin, and
Hmm.
I see like I watched John's loose skin video, and
Yeah.
like I don't know if the word is proud of it, but he's like okay with it and doesn't want to have the
Yeah.
surgery, this and that. And a big part of my, I mean, I'm insecure about a ton of stuff, but one of my
Same.
big insecurities is like my like being heavy in my looks, and it's like, oh, why am I
Hmm.
gonna lose all this weight and then have loose skin, and then girls still like they'll just have a new reason
Right.
not to want it, and so like I get down on it, but it's like it's
Yeah.
cool to see him like embrace it and be cool with it,
Yeah.
and
And I think
it's
it helps a lot of
yeah,
people. It
oh
helped
yeah,
me at least. It helps a ton of people. Yeah.
right, right. It's
Yeah.
and so you how long did it take you to lose 100 pounds?
Okay, so I went through like a whole binging to the point where I would get sick, and I think I would like make myself, get sick in order to you know, get that out of me. And
Right.
so, I through that whole process, I went from 260 pounds to 230 pounds.
Okay.
Um,
And you lost it while you were binging or you stopped binging?
I lost it while I was binging
Okay.
throughout the years. And I ended up after, so yeah, I ended up keeping that off the whole time.
Okay.
And so when I really buckled down, I was at 226. I remember. I was at 226 when COVID hit and when I really started. So then that's when I lost the 70 or 70, yeah, the 70 pounds. Yeah.
Okay. So have you
So
lost
yeah.
over 100 pounds now, I guess that sounds like?
Yep. So it would be, well, I guess 101 because I had hit
N-
159. So
nice.
yeah. But I gained about 5 pounds. So
No, that five
what are you
pounds
going to do?
that's I mean, I'm not gonna say it's nothing, but it's like I weigh in. We're recording this on a Wednesday, so I weighed in
Mm,
yesterday, and I've actually been pretty good. Surprisingly, I haven't really hit a plateau yet,
mm-hmm.
but last week I had, and it sounds so crazy when you say stuff like this, but I had like dessert ish like
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 nights, and it was rice cakes 2 nights, and I had pop chips like kettle corn chips, and
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I stayed within my calories, but I probably went a little higher than I usually do.
Yeah.
And the night or two before my weigh-in, I was checking, and I was like over what I was the week before, and I woke up on yesterday and was just at like barely just at what I was at the week before. So I thought if I got lucky, I'd I'd hit just like hit stay the same,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of bummed about it. But I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
After 6 months, just 1 week of staying the same is fine. And
Yeah.
I worked out, and it's I'm not proud of this, and this is something that I probably shouldn't do because I know everyone. It's a big thing online. Like the scale number on the scale is not important, but
Yeah. But it's
I'm
hard
not
not
perfect,
to.
but it is like it is. It's very
Yeah.
and it's I didn't drink, and I wasn't like dying of thirst. I don't do much during the day. But
Yeah.
I specifically didn't drink until I weighed in at night, and I ended up
Mm.
losing 1.5 pounds. So I was happy about that, but it just showed me because I literally within 24 hours I think lost like 4 to 5 pounds on the
Yeah.
scale.
Isn't
But
that
it's
crazy how that
yeah,
works?
yeah. It's not.
That's
It's
crazy.
maddening, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's like not real. I didn't really lose 4 to 5 pounds. I ate dinner, and then I had some drinks, and I mean not even
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, but I just drank, and it's just
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
I
literally anything. Like
right.
anything can make you gain a pound.
Oh, I know. I don't, and I, I know you said you gained 5 pounds, and who knows, you might have gained a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's just stuff fluctuates, and it's also I know isn't it harder for women with like the menstrual cycle, like like you retain water or something
Yeah.
every.
And I just went through that. So I'm pretty sure that
Oh,
might
geez.
be it. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean that's terrible. But I mean you're doing great. So so what did you do to
thanks.
lose the 100 pounds? Like I guess so. Did you
The,
do
I guess
something
the 70.
different between this? Like when you were losing the first 30,
Hmm.
were you on a plan, or was it different than the last 70, or was it all the same throughout?
No, I literally every single day I would try to eat healthy and I would eat healthy probably throughout like the first like half of the day and then I
Oh
would end up
yeah.
binging. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So I mean it wasn't
nighttime is the devil comes out. I don't know what it
yep.
is. You could be
Yep.
good all day, and then there's something
Mm-hmm.
about going like if you're out or something, and you just pass by the 7-Eleven or the drive-through, you're like, I was good today. I
Yeah.
could have a little bit, and then suddenly you're walking out with 3,000
Mm-hmm.
calories worth of junk.
I know. And then DoorDash doesn't help. Like,
Oh
that's
no.
terrible. I had to take that off of my phone. I had to delete the app because it was just
Yeah,
wild.
I'm actually, and I say it as a joke, but it's actually kind of true. I got myself banned from Postmates because I I ordered Chipotle, which it's not the driver's fault because I actually did drive for them a few times, but
Mhm.
they like the restaurants make the food right when they get the order, but the driver doesn't get there for like 15, 20 minutes sometimes, even
Yeah.
more, and then they have to
Hmm.
drive to you. So I've always I try to limit myself to get foods that I can microwave because I know it's gonna be cold. But I got
Yeah.
this burrito from Postmates, and either the restaurant or the driver put like it wasn't just like lukewarm. It was ice. Like someone put it in a freezer, or they either put it in a
Ew.
cooler, or like it was next to someone got like some ice cream or something. And
Yeah.
I wrote to Postmates, and I just said, listen, I'm not trying to get rich off of a $12 burrito, but it was ice cold. Like I couldn't eat it. And they were like,
Yeah.
and they sent me back this like canned response like, "Oh, thank you for helping us improve our service." And I was, well, I want my money back or credit at least. And they said
Yeah.
no. So I called my credit card company and got it taken off. And they
Yeah.
won't let me order now until I pay them back their $12, and I'm just not going to pay
Oh
them
my
back.
gosh.
Um, but the it's really because I'm not a big I don't like any politics or politicians,
Neither do I. I hate
and
it.
it's the worst. And I also I feel like I lean sort of like I'm just in the middle, maybe lean left on a few things, right on a couple other things, but
Hmm.
I don't I don't like the idea of it being anything being illegal. Like I don't want to say McDonald's should be illegal, but
Hmm.
it's it's just so accessible. It's 24 hours. The food is so cheap, and I have just so low of a willpower that it's
Yeah.
like it's almost unfair. Like
I
it's like
know.
if I wanted to go out at midnight and get something healthy, it's almost impossible.
It is.
And
Even Subway or something isn't even that healthy if you think about it. You know what
oh
I
no,
mean? It's
it's funny that you brought that Subway up. There's a joke on my last podcast that we're not allowed to eat Subway because it's just so disgusting. But it's frustrating because you were big for your whole life, right?
hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
From from like elementary school, I can remember. Yeah.
right. And it's just like every time I tried to lose weight, you try to eat healthy and you're like, oh, I'll get a turkey sandwich or I'll get
Mm-hmm.
tuna, but then you look at the calories in tuna.
Oh
They
yeah.
put so much mayonnaise and whatever if it even is tuna, they put so
I
much in
right,
it
I
that
know.
that it's like it's very hard. And I think that like that's one of the things that I've really done, and I'd be interested to know what you did, I guess, for the 70 pounds. But I've really cooked the vast majority of my meals. Even a lot of them are easy. Like I make tuna like once or twice a week,
Yeah.
but I try to do as much as I can at home. A, it's saving me a ton of money, but B, it's just like my big thing because I got delivery. I think I told this story too. I got delivery so much from one place in Boston that they told me that I had to order more. They weren't going to deliver to me anymore.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
but they have
That's
all of them have.
wild.
Oh, I know. I spent so much money on it, but they have like minimums. So I would just be like, oh, well, I guess I have to get an appetizer now, even though like I
Right.
you don't need it. So it like cooking at home, and it's very minimal what I do, but
Mhm.
it has really helped. So like when for you to lose that 70 pounds, what plan were you following?
So I just started I don't like keto. I'm not a fan of keto.
Right.
More power to you if you can do it, but I can't. I learned that I can't. But I did in the beginning, I did kind of cut my carbs as much as I, possibly could.
Right.
Um, and that helped. It was a big jump. So that's kind of what I was doing. Just watching my carbs and eating a ton of, fruits and vegetables. And that's
Okay.
how I started. Yeah.
So when you say watching your carbs, was there a number you wanted to stay under, or did you just like try to like not have it as much as you can?
Just try not to have it as much as I used to.
Right.
Maybe like in the morning, I would have like toast or something like that, or like yogurt, because I know some yogurts have like a lot of carbs in them.
Right.
So like yogurt and granola and fruit, and I would have that, and like that would kind of be like my only carb source to get me going in the morning, and then throughout the rest of the day, I didn't have any carbs. I tried not to.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
So
done keto. I'm going to try it. I was
yeah.
actually supposed to do it this week, but someone told me that I should like talk to my doctor first. So I am gonna talk to them about. I'm gonna do
Mhm.
try carnivore. I'm gonna try keto. Um,
Okay.
but when you say it wasn't, it didn't work for you, was it like did you just miss carbs or like what was the issue for you?
I think I just felt deprived. And that's my big thing. Feeling deprived is not good for me, I
Right.
realize.
Oh,
So,
it's terrible.
yeah, like mentally it's just not, good for me as far as like it was a trigger for, my eating disorder. So, yeah, and then I switched to after I lost well, no, I was doing vegan that time. Yeah, I was yeah. So, I after I lost the weight, a lot of the weight, that's when I started eating just like regularly, like I beans and rice and but it's plant based, so everything just kind of a lot of fiber and stuff. So it kind of it helped a lot.
Okay.
So
So are you not eating meat right now?
no, I'm full plant based right now, and right now I'm doing a detox, so it's all raw vegan, which is
Interesting. I think yours might come out before him, or maybe I'll have to put him out before you now. But I just
mm,
spoke with a gentleman in the UK
mm,
who actually wrote a book on that, um, and he eats. I think he said out of 14 meals a week, he'll eat two that have. He's all plant based, but he'll
mm.
eat two meals that are cooked, and the rest are fully raw. So
Oh, okay.
what made you a decide to go plant based and talk to me about the raw cleanse you're doing?
Well, I think I just did a lot of research as far as the vegan diet. I did a lot of research and I watched documentaries. I think the first thing that like triggered that was I watched a documentary. It was the which one was it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
That's fine.
Uh I can't remember what it was, but but it was like how they treated the animals and all that. And that was
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
oh
tough.
my gosh, that's what started. And then I ended up watching Game Changers.
Okay. I think I
I don't
saw
know if you
that.
ever seen that.
I think I
Oh, it
did
was
see
so
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, like, because it a lot of like health things, and then also too, like I said, feeling deprived. I'm able to pretty much eat what I want. I mean, of course, in moderation. I don't go crazy and eat all these, processed foods and all that, but it I don't know, like it makes me feel a lot healthier. So
Okay. And how long did it take you to what's the word I'm looking for? To adjust to not having any meat or cheese or anything like that?
Um, and then when I first started, I guess I did vegetarian for a little while. And then so that helped because I was still able to eat like the dairy and all that. And I've never really been like a huge meat eater. Um, so I was okay with the meat. It was mostly like the dairy was the hardest. But then I found all these like, vegan cheeses and substitutes, and I figured out how to make because I love macaroni and cheese.
Oh, who
I
doesn't? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. So I found a recipe for mac and cheese. So, um that helped a lot. So it was pretty easy for me. It was pretty easy.
Wow. Yeah, that's really tough.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm trying to do a little bit of a test of everything, and I
Hmm.
guess it makes sense that I should try vegan for a week. But God, that's gonna be. And I love animals, and I hate when I drive by on the
I
highway
know.
and there's those terrible little trucks, and then you see the little noses coming through.
I
I
know. Cows are my favorite animal, so
Oh, they're so cute. They're adorable, and
hmm.
and I love all animals, but
I
I
know.
don't know if the word selfish or what of me. I know it's possible
It's
to go
hard.
plant based, but I like when you talk about feeling deprived. That's why I like the OMAD I'm doing, and I know it doesn't work for a lot of people. It works for me, but it works for me because I honestly, other than dessert, I really don't feel like there's anything I can't have. I haven't had
Yeah.
pasta for a couple months, and I'll probably have it at some time soon coming up. But it's literally just because it's pretty high in calorie, and I can't have much other than that. If
And
I
I'm
was
not
gonna stick to my
familiar.
calorie,
Sorry.
go
I
for it.
didn't mean to
No,
cut you
no,
off. No,
no.
sorry. And you said the OMAD. I'm not familiar with that. I don't know if I had missed it, if you've talked about what it is.
Okay, no, I thought I had, but it's totally you listen to it more than I have, so you probably know. Um, it stands for 1 meal a day, and it's a type of intermittent
Oh,
fasting.
okay. Okay,
And
then I think I remember. Okay.
right,
That rings a bell. Okay.
that's fine, but no, it's So yeah, I literally eat once a day.
Hmm.
Some people are a little bit more strict with like literally in one sitting, so I'll give myself a few hour window where I usually I'll have my like salad. I have a salad almost every night. There's not
Hmm.
much in it. It's lettuce, cucumber, carrots, and feta cheese with croutons.
Yeah.
It's a Greek. That's basically a way for me to eat
Yeah.
cheese, croutons, and salad dressing.
Right.
Um, but I have it, and then I'll have my meal, and then um, if I have any dessert, which is not that often, well, most nights, if I have anything, I really like the Outshine makes a no sugar added popsicle that's
Oh, okay.
25 calories, and I love those. I have those the most often for dessert because 25 calories and it's basically water. Um,
Mm.
but like last night was my quote unquote cheat day. I still stay under 2,000 calories,
Yeah.
um, but it's a cheat day. So I really like caramel rice cakes, and they come in like the bag has two
Oh,
sleeves
yeah.
of seven, and that's only
Those are
350
good.
cal. Oh God, yeah, they're dangerous. But like I don't,
I know.
I try to only have that like once or maybe twice a week, and I'm only gonna have it. I'm not gonna have it throughout the rest of this week. But so other than the sweets, I don't really. There's nothing I don't have. I used to make tuna sandwiches a lot, but now
Mhm.
I've not been having the bread with the tuna just because I really like chips, and so I like scooping the tuna with the chip, and I'd rather have the
Yeah.
chip than the bread. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the plant-based one, that and I'll try it, but it seems it seems like that would be one where after a few days I would get very
Bored.
like
Or-
either sick. I was gonna use to say sick of it, or like I'd like snap and have to eat a burger. Like I don't even know.
Yeah. I
It
know.
it's very doable.
Yeah.
It's just something that I've like barely one of my favorites, and it's you brought up eating fruit, and it's so funny how when other people try to give you advice about weight loss, and it's usually it comes from a good place, but like whenever if you say you eat corn, it's like telling people you're eating a candy bar covered in cheese or something. They get so
I
upset.
know.
They get so upset at you, and I'm like, well, listen, I know that I'm like corn might have a little bit of sugar in it, but and I think I've said this before in here, but I'm gonna say it again.
Mm.
I don't count vegetable calories. I never
Yeah, you
have.
shouldn't.
I never once put in unless it was
Yeah.
like cheese covered or something or
Right, I
fried.
know.
Yeah, like that's that.
Butter and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So I put a little bit of olive oil in a pan, and I saute my vegetables,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna get fat off of eating corn. It's
No.
just it's crazy.
I mean, if
Um,
you eat like 10 ears of corn, then maybe like,
oh, that'd be a full. You know, the problem is the butter and the salt that you put on it.
yeah.
But no, it's crazy. That's crazy. So
Mhm.
you've lost over 100 pounds. Uh, do you have a goal in mind, or are you happy with where you are right now?
Um, I'm to the point where I'm like, I'm comfortable. I'm not like, oh, I'm not in a rush right now. But I would love to see on my, I mean, I know BMI, you shouldn't go by your BMI. I know
Right,
that, but
right.
I would love to see like a normal BMI,
I
you
know
know,
that'd be crazy. I don't
because
think
technically,
yeah.
yeah, technically I'm still overweight. My BM, because I'm 5'5", my BM or my weight should be 110 or something like that, which I will never be 110 because I'll be like,
110.
I know,
That's way too
I know.
skinny.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to be between like 110 or 115 or something like that, and 140, I think. So I think I'm
Okay.
okay with being 140. So I would like to see that, but
Right.
again, I'm not in a rush to see that number.
Okay. And
So.
what we talked about loose skin at the beginning. Um
Mhm.
and why don't you give a shout out right now? What's your Instagram? Because you have a great Instagram.
My Instagram is Bree, so BRE underscore goes GOES underscore beast BEAST 91.
Awesome. Okay, so go check it out. And you're very and I know I said I wasn't hitting on you earlier, so this is not hitting on you. But
No.
you post some you like to make yourself look pretty, and you post some not like OnlyFans level stuff, but you
Only
post you're like you're feeling yourself, which
yeah.
is good. Talk to me about that, because I know, I mean, I don't know if you felt this way when you were heavy, or if it was like hard for you to do that, or if you still if you did it anyways, or what is it like posting those kind of pictures?
It feels good now, obviously, because I feel like I don't want to say better because I feel like I've always looked okay, you know.
Yeah, you
Um
look. I would have asked you out before and after, so that's
Aw, thanks.
oh cool.
um, yeah, so, but I don't know if I've always been confident or I kind of just like acted confident. I
Right.
can't tell because I've never really been like shy as far as like clothing, maybe like shorts. I wouldn't wear shorts really, but like my makeup, I would do my hair and all that. And I don't know if that was like a cover for trying to, you know what I mean? Or that I was actually confident. I don't
Right.
know. But so yeah. So I mean now it feels a lot better than what I did, feel. I feel a lot more confident now. So
Right. Oh,
feels good.
absolutely.
Feels
And
good.
do you have a plan? How do you feel about loose skin? Do you want to get it removed? Are you going to keep it as it is?
I would love to get it removed. I would. But I think because I don't have kids right now. So I think I would wait until after I had kids because
Okay, yeah, that
okay.
makes
I feel
sense.
like that would kind of defeat the purpose. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never had it before, so I'm not sure. But
Right. No,
so
that
yeah.
makes sense. That's actually an interesting, because that's not something I have to worry about.
Yeah.
Um, what after losing all this weight and knowing that you'll gain weight when you get pregnant, does that scare you? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. That is very scary to me. And I always talk about it with my husband. I'm like, oh, gosh, like I'm terrified. I've done all this work and I know, being pregnant, you have all these cravings and they're like uncontrollable. So it's like, cause in 2013, I actually ended up having a miscarriage.
I'm so
So
sorry.
thanks. Yeah, that was hard. But I'm okay. So I know how it is. Like I know it's uncontrollable to, eating wise. It's so hard. Like you just want to eat everything in sight. And it's yeah. So that's what I'm scared of. I am, but I think like my husband was saying, you're so used to eating healthy now and you have that willpower, you know what you need to do. So I'm used to eating healthy. I love fruits. I love vegetables. So hopefully that'll go on to that. So
Right. No, I
when that
mean
happens
you've
for
been
me.
able to do it, and it's I think the what's the word, the benefits outweigh the risk. I mean, like you'll have a beautiful kid, and I'm sure you'll
Mm-hmm.
be able to lose the weight again. And
Yeah.
who I mean, I know some people gain a good amount of weight, but like, do you think you could like? Isn't it possible to gain like between like 20 to 50 pounds? Is that like how much do people
Yeah.
usually gain when they get pregnant? I just don't know.
I'm not sure, but I remember, and it was like a short period of time. Um, I gained like 25, almost 30 pounds, I think it was. That's
Well,
when I got to my highest.
you are growing a human being,
Yeah,
so
but
that's I
that's like
mean
a
the.
lot in a short period of time. You know what I mean?
Well,
So it's
I've gained like 20 to 30 pounds in a few months just because I was sad and I like cheeseburgers. I mean,
right, right.
so don't be too hard on yourself. But the last thing I wanted to ask you about was I noticed on your Instagram that you ran a 5K recently.
Yes, I did. I am a runner.
That's
I
awesome.
like to call myself a runner.
Oh no, of course. That's I've. The reason I'm bringing it up is I have in my head. I hate. I don't like working out. I would much rather do nothing. But I do.
Right.
Yeah, it's just honest. I work out 4 times a week. It's very minimal, but
It's something though. So
right. And I was talking with some people, um, uh, and I was mentioning that I've never ran, like literally I ran a few times in like high school when I was on sports teams, and you had to run around like the mat or around like the
yeah.
football field a couple times. But I've never like been in a race or anything, and I kind of just to prove to myself that I can do it, I want to run 5K because it's
Yeah.
only like 3.5 miles. And someone mentioned to me that there's an app called like Couch to 5K that's supposed to
Okay.
like train you to how to run. So talk to me. I'd love to know how you decided to start running. Like, did you run when you were younger, or like is this a brand new thing?
No, I did not run at all when I was younger. Even in PE, like I failed PE. Like
Oh,
how sad is that? Like how do you fail PE? You know what I
oh
mean?
no, they didn't grade my PE, but if they would have, I would have failed.
Oh, they didn't grade your PE?
I don't think
That's
so.
crazy. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I
How do they
failed.
give you a grade? What do you? Well, he's good at getting hit with the ball and dodgeball. I don't understand.
Right? I know. Yeah, well, you had to get like an under an 18-minute mile or something like that. And just like, I guess just being active. I was not active. Like I didn't even dress it. I was so bad. I didn't even dress in my PE clothes. Like I was one of those kids. I was just like, whatever. And they like made me walk the track. It was to a point where they put me in like a like like a special ed. Like we had a group of friends that they put in like a special ed type of
Oh,
PE where you just
jeez.
walk the track. Yeah, I was terrible. I Didn't
Well,
want to
that
do
sounds like it's
anything.
more on them. I mean, obviously, I know it's good to have
Yeah.
people to be active, and I'm gonna, if I ever have kids, I'll try to get
Yeah.
them to be a little bit more active. But if they're anything like me and probably the woman that I end up marrying, I can't imagine I'm gonna marry some like super active marathon runner. So it's probably not gonna be something they like either. But that to force kids to do it is that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
But
I
so
mean, at least I should have tried. I mean, I feel like obviously I should have tried, but I was a kid, but
yeah,
I was obviously I was heavy. I think I was probably when I was in high school, I was probably around maybe 240, 250 or something like that.
okay.
So I was
So
heavy. So
just to interrupt, and then we'll get back to the 5K. What did
yeah.
it feel like the first time you saw the one before the two? I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh my gosh, I cried.
Really?
I cried. Yes. I remember I went out on a run that morning and I literally stripped down. I took my watch off. I took everything off.
Oh
I took my
yeah.
glasses off.
I
I was
never
like, I'm
weigh in
going to
with
see.
anything on. Oh my god.
I know. I was taking I took my hair tie out. Like, I don't know. I was crazy. And I saw the 159 and I was like, oh, I cried.
Oh, well, that's amazing. I meant, but what about like when you saw the
Oh, I'm
199?
sorry.
No,
The
no, no.
199. Okay, still I cried at that time too.
Okay.
Yeah, and still same thing. Ripped everything off, like everything. So yeah, I definitely cried that time too. So
That's. I mean, I'm
it
not
was
glad that you cried,
awesome.
but it must be a good feeling. I'm
It
looking
was.
I'm looking forward to that. So you weren't a runner, but when did you decide to start running?
Well, when I first started, the only exercise I did, I don't know why I had this 3 mile in my head. I've always had, or I guess it took me an hour. So I would always just walk an hour. So, and then that equaled up to like 3 miles when I first started. So it
Right.
just turned into a habit. So I'm always on a 3 mile thing. So, I would just walk and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try and run. And I do it like really early in the morning where nobody was like around. And so I would run and it just, I just kept going from then on. Like I would try to do it more and more and more. And then I just ended up liking it.
Oh God, you
And
you
so
actually you enjoy it?
now I do.
Oh God,
I do. I love running.
we'll see. I think I'm gonna do the 1 5K and then I'm gonna burn the running shoes and never run again in my life. I mean,
No,
who
you
knows?
will. You'll
May
love it.
may I don't I will we will see. Hopefully you're right, but I don't think so. I don't.
If I could learn to love it, oh, I bet you could learn to love it.
Well,
It's
that'll be crazy. That'll be I'll have to have you on again in a few months when I run the 5K. I'm gonna
oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
there's no reason why I'm waiting, but I just have this in my head that when I hit the 100 pounds down, which will probably be in like probably a month and a half,
Mhm.
Then I'll start training. For some reason, I'm gonna wait for that.
It's
But
hard though because your body, it's a lot of impact on your body though. Also,
right,
that's what was hard.
right,
So
which is that's the excuse I'm using. That it'll be good. It'll be good for me to be less weight when I start training, and
yeah.
I'm gonna do like my version of running is gonna basically be a lot of people speed walking. Like when I walk, I was in I was visiting my dad in Florida for a couple months,
Mhm.
and a lot of the people who live in his retirement community walk as well. And like 80-year-olds were like lapping me. They would start up behind me and end up ahead of me. Like I'm so
Don't
slow.
you hate that when you feel like you're like, yeah, I'm feeling good. And then like this old person just like,
Yeah, just
bye. I'm
yeah,
like, cool. I
zooms
feel
past me.
great.
It's not even close. Like that at a certain point, I
Yeah,
can't even see them anymore. So like,
right.
I'm gonna light jog a 5K. I just want to move I would like to be able to
Yeah.
let me ask you that. When you were doing the 5K, how long did it take you to get to be able to run that comfortably? And B, can you do it without stopping, or do you take walk breaks?
No, so I did my first 5K, like my official 5K. Because I usually like when I regularly run, when I do 3 miles, I'll run a mile, I'll stop for a few minutes, then I'll run again, stop for a few minutes. But this time I was like, I'm not gonna stop, like I'm gonna keep going. And so I ended up going, but I made sure that I kept like a really good pace, really slow, steady pace. So it took me, I think it was like 33 or 34 minutes.
Oh, I'll hit an hour for sure. I'll be the first person. I'll be the last one there.
That's awesome though. As long as you're moving and going and you're trying, that's all that matters.
Right. Well, thank you. I'll have
all that matters.
I'll have you zoom in and I'll have someone hold the phone on it so you can keep me going because I'll definitely want to quit. But Brianna, thank you so much for taking the time to call in. I'm so happy that this connected with you in any way, and then that we connected, and you're inspiring me because there's no way I would ever think about running. I barely like walking.
Right.
But thank you, and it's your Instagram is remind me again. It's
Bree_goes_beast 91.
Bree_goes_beast_. Wait, I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
So it's Bree_goes_beast 91.
All right, so no underscore between the beast and 91. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and it was great talking to you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Brianna for coming on the episode. It was great to talk to her. Very open, very relatable. I think we all have those issues with, the scale going up and down and eating too much at certain points and then struggling with the working out. And Brianna is a wonderful person, and I loved having her on. So I just wanted to say thank you to her. Again, if you would like to come on to the Waistline Podcast, I am about ready in the next week or two to start doing some calls again. So email me to get on the list at waistlinepodcast@gmail.com. That's waistlinepodcast@gmail.com. And thank you again to our sponsor, Dive Bar Nutrition. Go to divebarnutrition.com. Check out all their amazing flavors and use code LEE, L-E-E, at checkout to get 25% off of your order. And when you like it, and I know you will, use code LEE again to get another 25% off your next order and enjoy the deliciousness. They make great bars. They have caffeine in them. Then they fuel athletes, students, and really anybody that wants to maximize their day. So thank you very much for watching and listening to the Waistline Podcast. I will be back next week with hopefully a very exciting 100-pound down. I don't know. I tried to wing that, and I have no idea what word is going to be. Extravaganza? Let's go with extravaganza. Thank you very much for listening to the Waistline Podcast. My name is Syatt, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.